Hey y'all,
What's up, y'all?
I'm Elise,
And I'm Will.
and this is Team
Team Tatum.
Tatum. Team Tatum.
So it's about that time of year again, starting to cool off here in Texas. So we're gearing up to start camping again.
A crisp 86 degrees.
So we've taken some stuff out, added some stuff in to our camping gear, and just kind of wanted to update and talk about our progress and our camping journey since we started in 2020. First things first, you're gonna go camping. Tent camping, mind you. Not glamping, not out somewhere in an RV or a cabin, in a tent camping. Just to be clear. First thing you're gonna need is a tent. This is our tent. OG.
Faithful.
Never got rid of it. A lot of people be hating on these, Walmart joints, but we've had it for 5 years now. Almost 5 years, not completely 5 years, but has not failed us. So this is
We've been rained on and everything.
rained on and everything. I slept in the cold, like ice.
The last freeze that came through Texas.
Yep. It did collapse on me. You can watch that video. We'll link it. But it collapsed because of the heavy ice because it was kind of raining during the night, so that froze, and then ice is heavy, so it collapsed it down. So as I said, or maybe didn't say, this is a 3-person tent. That's a lie. 3 fully adult people cannot fit in this tent. I mean, they can. I don't know what you're gonna be doing, but it ain't gonna be comfortable.
No rolling over.
No rolling over.
None of that.
So like 2 adults and a child could fit in here, but not 3 people. And they show you that 3 people can sit side by side. And if you look at this diagram, it's exactly how she just described. Like you are in a coffin, side to side, shoulder to shoulder. Not happening. But we're only sleeping in a tent. Like some people get the big tent so they can have all their room
and hang out in it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not hanging out in a tent. I'm hanging out outside in the nature, doing what I came to do. If I'm in there, I'm changing clothes, or I'm sleeping, or winding down for the night to go to sleep. But yeah, this 3-person Ozark tent, it's like, well, it was under $30. They're higher than that now. I haven't seen one for less than $30. But yeah, this is a good starter tent. And if you don't go camping all the time, like we do, because it's hot the majority of the year here in Texas, then this is a perfect tent to get. Go and head down to Walmart, get you a little 3-person Ozark tent.
Link in the description.
Tidbit about getting a tent: test it out before you go camping. So don't be like our friends who didn't unbox theirs until they got there, and then it was stuff,
and
stuff wrong. You don't want that. So set it up in your living room or in your backyard, what have you, so you can get accustomed to it and make sure that all the items are in there that are supposed to be in there. Because these are not self-putting up tents. It's not like a self-inflating thing, but it's, you don't need anything extra. Everything you need is in this bag here. So again, Ozark. All right, the next thing you're gonna want is a tarp of some kind. Doesn't have to be the best tarp. You can get a cheap tarp. You just want some type of barrier between the ground and your tent. So when you're setting up a tent, you don't want to put the tent just bare on the ground. You want to first clear out any rocks, anything that could stab your tent, because once it gets torn, it's torn.
Also, it's not comfy to sleep on.
Not comfy. So wherever you're planning on putting it down, whether it's a dedicated tent pad that the park has provided, you still want to make sure there's nothing jagged or whatever. So you clear all that out, and then you put a tarp down. And if it's too big, if it's bigger than your tent, you want to fold it. You don't want it to be bigger than your tent, because if it were to rain in the middle of the night, that's just going to allow water to get up under your tent, and 1, you'll be wet, 2, you'll be super cold. So you want to make sure it's folded so that it's a little bit smaller than the bottom of your tent. and you put your tent on top of that, and it's just kind of a makeshift insulation barrier. Like, it doesn't make it not cold if you're still on the floor, but makes it better. Next thing we're talking about is a blanket to put on the bottom of your tent on the inside. So this is our down under tent. Yeah, we had this the first video that we made with the camping checklist. It's been a great addition. So what it is, it's a blanket that rolls up, obviously.
And it has a polyester backing and then a fleece top to it. So the polyester keeps the potential water from coming in a little bit if it does get in your tent, and it also blocks more cold from being under you. And then the fleece is comfy to sleep on.
Yeah, so this is what we put on the bottom once we get the tent set up. Next thing we have is a sleeping pad. Now, we didn't have this particular one when we first started. We had a different brand, and it was self-inflating, and it covered up the whole tent on the bottom, but it had 0 R value to it, and it wasn't very thick. It was about 1 inch thick, which is good when you're just trying to get off the ground. Like, it gave you a level surface. Like, it was fine. But when we attempted to go camping later in the year, aka cold weather camping, at least for Texas, it did not cut the mustard.
And it deflated.
Yeah.
So woke up sleeping basically on the
ground. So we did a review on this. This is the Unigear. I don't remember. It was like P4 or something like that. I don't know. So put it in the description. But this, unfortunately, is not a self-inflating sleeping pad like our old one was. This one you have to blow up, manually, but it has a higher R. Well, it has an R value. I believe it was 3. If not, I'll put a correction down at the bottom.
Jesus Christ, Steven, how many people ran away while I was gone? 2.
But R value, for those who don't know, is basically insulation level. So the higher the R number, the more insulated you are. And so it's not really about how far you are away from the ground, though being farther away from the ground does help because, heat rises. So when you're on the ground, you're cold. But this has it's at least a 2, but I want to say it was 3. But it blows up. It's about 3 inches thick, so it doesn't take that long to blow up. And you can either blow it up by mouth or you can use the bag. So there's a inflation bag that it comes with, and it's been pretty nice. It hasn't deflated on us. It's single serve, so it's not like the one we had before where it was for both of us. This is just one person, so you got to be careful. Can't be doing too much wild sleeping because you'll roll off of it. But we like it. It's been serving us good. We've had it for a while now, and we would get another one.
And it also has like lines. I don't know what that's called.
The little section grooves.
Yeah, so it's like by your head, it's shaped one way, mid-back one way, your legs another way, to add added comfort while you're sleeping.
All right. Next thing is a down blanket. So specifically down, because down has a natural insulation to it, and it's compressible. So as you can see, it's in this compressed bag here. I didn't compress it down that much because it's not that necessary. But if you were backpacking into your campsite and you wanted something that wasn't taking up a bunch of space, this is it. Down is super lightweight. It comes with its own carrying case here, but I'll show you. Open it up. Very thin, and so when you get to camp, you take it out, lay it in your tent, and it'll basically fluff out itself because it's no longer compressed. It just naturally unfluffs. And though it seems lightweight, like it's like windbreaker material, the down inside is a really good insulator. So it's a lightweight blanket to keep you warm.
It's like a puffer jacket almost.
Yeah, it's kind of like a puffer jacket. But yeah, you can press it down really, really far. But this is from Look Hall. Got this on Amazon. We'll put the links to the stuff in the description, but would also recommend these. These aren't the best, you know, because we're budget campers. We're not getting the best of the best because that mess is expensive. But for what you're paying for,
you get the
this is
bang
good.
for your buck.
All right. Next on the list, headlamps. Now, I know we live in 2025 and we have our phones and they have flashlights on them, and that's great. But you want to not use your phone as much as possible because, you know,
never know when you're gonna need that battery.
Right. Especially when you're at a place where you're kind of on the outskirts and there's no cell phone reception. So you want to make sure you have battery power, and it frees up your hand. Because let's say you're walking around at night, why you would be doing that out camping? I don't know.
Going to the bathroom.
You know, that's the only reason I'm out at night is going to the bathroom. If I'm not by the fire, like at my campsite, I don't need to walk nowhere. But if I am, I need my hands free so I can be ready. So I don't got to get ready. Headlamp. Now, this is the one we used to have. It's by Vaunt. We love these. They have an adjustable head tilt. So you don't always have to tilt your head. You could just tilt the headlamp itself. It had different settings, low, mid, bright, and also had a SOS setting and a red light setting, so you can still have light but not be super bright and annoying to other people. But unfortunately, these are battery operated. They take 3 AAAs, and you know, sometimes you forget to change the batteries out, or you know, the batteries were no good even though you changed them out. So we wound up, they were really good though. Like, I'd still like, Vaunt is a good company. We had some other stuff from Vaunt we'll get to in a second. But we recently upgraded, and now we have Le Pro. I might not be pronouncing that right, but these are USB rechargeable, so that's great. Not spending money on batteries, just plug it up, let it charge overnight, night before, put them in your bag, good to go. And these do the exact same thing. It was a double pack. Got these off of Amazon, and they're great. So, I mean, it's a headlamp. You've seen headlamps before. I just explained what they do. Get a headlamp. Alright. Next thing on the checklist is you're going to need some type of stationary light. So, this is a lantern that we got. It has a little hook at the top there, and we can either hang it from the trash pole that's there on site or from a tree limb or anything. And this is what we'll kind of use at the campsite to have overall light instead of looking at something specific, like with the headlamps, which we pretty much keep on once it starts to get dark. But this is very heavy. Like, it's not heavy now because there's no batteries in it, but once you put the batteries in, which is 3 D batteries. Is it D batteries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 D batteries. Things get heavy. And we can't put it in our tent because it'll pull the roof of the tent down because it's so heavy. So even though it's a good lantern, we no longer take it camping. It's not beneficial to us. So instead, we got this lantern, which is also from Vaunt. Actually, no, we didn't get these.
My sister got it for us for Christmas.
We got these for Christmas, and these are great because they're super lightweight. I've got batteries in it right now, and it feels the same as if when it doesn't have batteries in it. And got the handles there. They're removable. You can take them off if you need to, but these are lightweight enough that we can hang one from the inside of our tent, and then we have our light inside of our tent when we need it. But what's really cool is that it's adjustable. So once you have the batteries in, there's no on and off switch. You just lift it up. Oh! And you can adjust the brightness of it by how much you have it out. So, I mean, it's the same brightness, but you're controlling the amount that comes out, which I really like. So you could basically have a dimmer kind of situation. So you can have it just crack like that and still get light. And once you close it, it shuts off. So highly recommend these. I really like these. I wish Vaunt made the rechargeable headlamps. I would get a Vaunt rechargeable headlamp, but they don't. But these can be got on Amazon as well as Vaunt website. But
And it comes in multi-packs.
yes, which is great. Next thing you're gonna want to have is a battery pack. So we've got 2 of these, one for each of us. So we charge it up the day before. This is by Anchor. These have been really good. And you plug in your device to one end, and then the other end is for charging. And you can see the battery life. You press this button on the side, it lights up with 4 different lights. And if it's all 4 lights, it's fully charged. Not 4 lights, you're not fully charged. These last a good time in terms of like how much you get out of a full charge. So we just have them just in case, because we're only really using our phone to record footage so we can show you people, so you can get out there and start camping. But we're not really on our phones usually because we don't have any service. But get you a battery pack, and just this is good to have at the house. So if you ever have a power outage or whatever the case, a disaster, have a battery pack. Just kind of think to charge it or check the charge, once a week or so.
And they hold charges for a long time too. So if you charge it and just forget that you did charge it, when you go to use it, it more than likely will still be charged.
Yeah.
Unlike some things.
Because these came in handy when we had our freeze that you talked about earlier. We could still, charge our phones.
So
all right. Next thing on the list, very underrated, hot hands. So these are hand warmers. You just basically expose it to oxygen and it starts working. So you rip it out of the package and it's like a little bean bag kind of thing, and you can shake it to kind of speed up the process. I think it's a placebo effect. I don't think it actually does anything. But once oxygen hits it, that's why it's like sealed. Then it starts to warm up. Yeah. But these are ridiculously cheap. Like I want to say these are like 50 cents. But it's a 2-pack and it lasts up to 10 hours. And I mean, you just open them up, put them in your pockets. So what we do is we wear 2 pairs of socks when we go to sleep. And so we'll put on the first pair of socks, then get the second pair, drop one of these into the bottom, and then put our foot into the second sock so we have a barrier of the first sock so it's not touching straight flesh, because they do get hot.
Yeah, they get hot enough where
really
they can burn you.
Yeah. But it keeps us warm because you lose a lot of heat from your feet. And so when we put them in the bottom of our socks, that keeps us warm. And then when we also put one in our shirt, we'll be wearing 2 shirts, and same, thought process. Don't have it skin to skin. But yeah, we have these just on deck. I got like 20 of them off in our little camping box. So hot hands, keep you warm. All right. Next thing you're gonna want is a pillow. So this isn't what we started with. We didn't get this until maybe like 2 years in or so, maybe even 3. But we were bringing pillows from the house because we're car camping. And by car camping, I mean we can pull up to our site and we're less than like 50 yards from the spot where we're camping. And 50 yards is a stretch. For some of the places, it's even closer than that.
Yeah.
But we can just grab everything from the car. But for the times where we don't feel like, carrying a bunch of stuff, or we know we're going to be walking a little farther, we decided to upgrade, and we went to REI and got these Clement Pillow X's. So this is a pillow in this little bag here. These were about $18, but worth it in my opinion. It unfolds, and then you have to self-inflate with your mouth. Give me a second, I'll show you what it looks like inflated. So this is the pillow. It took like 25-30 seconds to blow up. You got to twist that valve really quickly as you're running out of breath before you breathe in to do your next big puff, because it will deflate on you. But it's called the X because of this X, and it's supposed to cradle your head, so you're supposed to sleep on your back and your head is cradled in there like that. But this is pretty comfortable. I mean, it's not a dream. I'm not gonna tell you it's the best thing ever, but it's far better than just sleeping straight on the sleeping pad.
Gets the job done.
Gets the job done. And then it just folds back up to your little pouch and you're done.
Great for beginner backpacking too, to not take up a lot of space when you haven't started counting. What do they count? Grams? When you
I think they count ounces.
Whichever one. Before you get to that level, this is good for starting out backpacking.
Yeah, we've been trying to consolidate because, you know, it's a lot of stuff to pack in the car. And then if we want to bring somebody with us, we want to have space in the car for them to come with us so they don't have to drive themselves. But cheat code for this is that some people complain that this slides around and their head falls off, you know, when they're sleeping, especially if they got it on top of a sleeping pad, because it's made out of the same material basically. But a hack is that you wrap this in a shirt or a hoodie, some type of clothing, and that creates friction and then it won't slide on you. So instead of just sleeping directly on this, wrap it in some type of clothing and then put it on your floor, or, you know, whatever you're sleeping on, and then it will stay in place. So next thing that you don't have to have, I'll tell you the things that you should have after we get through our list. The next thing that we have is a camp stove kit. So got this on Amazon. It was like $25, and it comes in this carrying case like this, minus this carabiner, but I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, let me show you what's inside. So number one, you have a little bitty pot with collapsible arm, and you could use this, you know, you're cooking, but this also serves as the lid for the entire kit. So first you got the little pot. Then you have your big pot, also has a little handle like that, and it's got convenient markings on the inside. I can't really show you, but it has different, you know, ounces and milliliters, so you can measure when you're cooking. And also inside can fit, doesn't come with it, but fits gas canister. And this is basically an 8-ounce gas canister. You can get these at Walmart or anywhere that sells propane. And
propane accessories.
It lasts a really good while. Like, this is a new one. The first one that we bought, we used that for a number of camping trips.
Like a whole season?
Yeah.
Well, more than one season, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't use a lot of gas at all. But, and just to show you how it fits on each other, I mean, it's not complicated. Like, it's literally like boom, just there. So this is how it comes inside the bag. And then
forget the stove.
Here's the stove itself. Lightweight stove. I don't even know what brand this is, but this is the stove here. And what you do is you unfold the feet here. And your pot sits on top. Before you do that, you connect it. So you connect it to the canister, put it on the ground, smell that gas. And then it has a self lighter. There's a little ignition right there. And there's an igniting button. You press that and it clicks, makes a spark, ignites
Got a fire.
the flame, and then this little dial on the side here that adjusts the pressure, so how high or low you want your flame. But this has been great, especially living in Texas, because oftentimes when we go camping there's a burn ban, and what that means is you can't burn anything. Sometimes they have it where you can't burn firewood, which is most of the time what it is, but you can use charcoal or propane, but you can't burn firewood. And we're a little weird. We're not weird, but we like our camping to be authentic. So, or at least I do. So I want a fire with wood, like while we're out there, even if it's not cold. Like they go hand in hand. Camping,
Likes the aesthetic.
I like the aesthetic of it. So, and I don't like think about charcoal at all. Like charcoal is for grilling, like in the backyard, you know what I'm saying? Not camping. And so we got this stove instead, or we can just sit outside the tent, cook, and then, unscrew it, put it back. I really like this. It's also something I would recommend having in your house. Again, if you're used to disasters or power going out and what have you, $25 can save your life in, terms of food or whatever. Like if your gas gets turned off because of the disaster,
or you don't have
gas, you have all electric, boom, you can still get you some meals cooked with these. So pick up a couple canisters, put them somewhere safe in the house, and boom, there you go. It also comes with a spoon that collapses down. It can fit inside, a little metal spoon. I'm not a big fan of the spoon because the latch, the hinge is very loose. So it's a very small spoon, so you kind of have to hold the hinge while you're stirring, otherwise it'll collapse on you or whatever. And because it's small, you're kind of basically off in the pot, so close to the heat. Not a big fan of it, but hey, it's a freeze. But actually, it's a spork, I think, is what it is, and not a spoon. But all of that for $25. We have utensils that we bought. You want to show? No. All right. So this comes as one piece like this. You break it apart. It's like a Swiss Army knife. You got your fork on that side. You got your spoon on this side. But you also have a knife. They're a little rusty. That's my fault. But you have a knife and a can opener on this side. So you're eating. So sometimes we'll bring like a steak out. We don't do it often because then we got to bring a cooler and this whole thing. But when we do, we got that covered. And they're nice and like compact. I don't remember how much they were. They weren't that expensive. And I don't remember where we got them from.
And it came in a 2-pack, right?
Yeah, it came in a 2-pack. So I think we got these on Amazon too, actually.
There's a pattern here.
There's a pattern. Except for the pillow, which came from REI, most of the stuff is Ozark Trail, which comes from Walmart, or Amazon. We're not spending a whole bunch of money. I can tell you the most expensive thing that we bought, and that's probably the down blankets, the compressed down blankets. Those were like $80, I think, for those, but we didn't buy those for a couple years, so we not saved up, but we tested stuff out to see if we
made sure we were
needed.
serious about camping too.
Right. Don't go out buy a bunch of stuff that you see on TV or YouTube just because you think like, oh, I need that. You don't need it. Like I said, at the end of the video, I give you your essentials, and everything else is kind of like
nice to have.
But yeah. All right, next, still on the food train, is we have a bowl. We can pretty much eat the majority of our stuff out of as a convenient little notch here for your thumb, for you to hold it. But these are Cedar Summit. Also got these at REI because Ozark Trail didn't have any, and the ones on Amazon were more expensive at that time. I think there was a sale going on, so I wound up getting these at REI. I didn't have to pay shipping, all that other good stuff. But nothing special, just a bowl that we specifically only use for camping. Lightweight, sturdy, but fits in the backpack easily, and like it doesn't take up a lot of weight. And then we each have one. We have a collapsible cup, also from Sea to Summit, and these mostly are just cool. That's why I got into them. But as you see, it collapses and uncollapses, and it does keep your hands safe. So we got some cups for camping, right? When we first camped, and then we decided like, oh, we're gonna have some hot chocolate in the morning, and we nearly burned our hands because the camp cups they're metal, and so it's conductor.
It's conducted.
So our hands were on fire. So we were watching some videos, saw somebody had this, and I was like, oh. Not only does it not take up space in the backpack because it collapses, but it's got the little ridges, and they're good for grip, and also the material helps with the insulation or whatever, so your hand isn't on fire drinking it. And then another plus to it is that it has measuring lines in it. So just like our pot, these have measuring lines, so you can get accurate measurements for whatever that you need to measure while you're out. I don't remember how much these cost, but they weren't expensive. They're pretty cool, and yeah, they're a little comfort type of deal. You don't really need them, but we like them. Next thing that we bring is, and you should bring too, are camping chairs. So your tailgate chairs, lawn chairs, whatever you want to call them. Just something that has a bag they fold up into. Just throw them in the trunk, sit outside your tent, bask in the glory of nature. Camp chairs. Next thing you want is water. Should have been the first thing outside of your tent. Tent, then water. We used to bring a couple things, like a couple bottles of water, like plastic bottles of water, and then to drink. And then we'd bring like 2 jugs of regular water, like a gallon of water, to use for dousing the flames on the fire, washing our hands, washing utensils, that type of thing. We've consolidated since then, and now we have this Reliance. I thought it was Coleman, but it wasn't. It's Reliance. But this is a 6-gallon water jug. Here, got this at Walmart, and we don't need to fill it up for the 6 gallons. We can fill it up halfway for 3, and that's still plenty for the 1 to 2 days that we're normally out camping. But this is super convenient. It doesn't take up a lot of space because it's skinny. You can kind of slide it in the back seat behind some other stuff. But how it works is, instead of having to fumble around with the water, you screw off the top. You remove the seal. The spout is inside. Put that.
Call is coming from inside the house.
Screw that on. And you pull out this little tab here for air pressure. And boom. Pour safely, no spill, no muss, no fuss.
Bob's your uncle.
That's right.
I got to say it.
But yeah, so water, make sure you have plenty of water. Bring more water than you expect to drink. Even if you don't regularly drink water, if you're going to be outside camping where you can't just, run to the fridge or run to the gas station to get something, especially if you're going to be hiking, you're going to need water. And take it from us, ask us how we know. Don't run out of water. Don't be like, I'm not going to drink that much water. Yes, you are. And even if you don't, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Amen.
Kind of on the same train. You want, what's it called? Bio soap. So bio soap is regular soap, just without the extra chemicals. added into it. Doesn't have any scent or anything. Doesn't have any of the bells and whistles. It's just soap. It's good for the environment in terms of it's biodegradable, which is why it's bio soap. But it doesn't mean you use it in sources of water, so don't use it in the river, in the lake, that type of thing. Stay on land. It's better for the environment than, like Dawn soap or whatever hand soap you get from the store, Bath and Body Works. But it's still not supposed to be there. It's not a natural thing, in that form. So keep it up near your campsite and use bio soap instead of your regular hand soap.
And you can also use Dr. Bronner's Castile soap instead, the unscented kind.
Next thing you want to use is some type of multi-knife, like a Swiss Army knife, basically. I don't have one to show you right now. I have one, but, not following my own instructions. Didn't put it back last time I used it. Now I don't know where it is, so I got to find that before we go camping in the next few weeks. It's not necessary, but it's nice to have. It's got pliers on it, screwdriver, knife.
Daniel Cortez.
All the basic things that you'll need. All right, next, if you're going to be using firewood, then you want an axe. Now, in Texas, you can't gather firewood, at least at state parks. You can't gather firewood. Now, maybe if you're camping on private property, which we've only done once, but we had our camp stove. We didn't need to gather firewood. You want to be able to cut the wood down because you're going to get it in logs. Also, if you're buying firewood, buy it near the place you're camping at. So if you're in Houston, don't go all the way to Dallas with Houston bought firewood because there may be bugs and stuff in the firewood that's not native to Dallas. And once you start burning it, they're going to leave. You burn up their house. And now they've invaded this space that they normally are not in. So wherever you're going to be camping, just buy your firewood at a gas station, nearby, or grocery store nearby.
And a lot of state parks, I'm pretty sure all state parks, sell firewood too at the Welcome Center. So you can get it there if you get there before they close.
Yeah, it's more expensive though.
Yeah.
It's just like buying, beer at the game versus at the store. They up the price. But yeah, you want your axe, which we have this guy here. Got it at Walmart. This is American hickory, which I think is actually wood, and not the brand of the axe. You want to chop up your wood because those big blocks or logs rather that you buy, they're gonna take forever to burn. So if you've ever been trying to light firewood and you're like, man, it's taking forever, that's why. You need to take one of those logs and cut it up into small pieces of kindling and light that, because small pieces burn faster, and then as that burns, you add the bigger logs to it. This is actually the second axe that we got, or hatchet rather. This is the first one that we got. I still have the sleeve for this. This is not very good for chopping wood. I went in the store and I was like, oh, that's cool. And it's wrapped in paracord. So if I need the paracord for anything, which is, basically just rope, I can use that. It's got these little holes here for tightening non-existent bolts that I'm never going to run into while I'm out camping. But hey, it's cool. Now it's my weapon. I can just throw this. Like I keep this in a tent next to my pillow, wake up in the middle of the night, hear something. You get the axe. But anyway, wasn't good for chopping wood, so kept it as a little personal weapon. Got this axe, got some weight to it. Now I can chop the wood properly, and we're good to go. It also, this one came with this flint, which is great. And you can use this to spark a fire, get that started. So it's a good purchase, just not for what I initially purchased it for. If you don't have kindling, or you're not very good at chopping the wood, you can kind of make some makeshift kindling. So this is our makeshift kindling. Anytime we get boxes, and by we I mean this one over here, from Amazon, Shein,
boxes anymore. Thank you.
Anyway, I save the bag that it comes in, and I shred up the box, and I put it in here. So this is just shredded up cardboard, and use this as kindling. I also use it when I'm grilling with my chimney, so works great if you're ever looking to start a fire for cheap. Boom, there you go.
And what else can you use to start a fire?
You can also use dryer lint, which we stopped using because we were collecting dryer lint and using it, and then there's just a lot of dog hair because our dog sheds like nobody's business, and it's not like we're eating it, you know, but I felt the type of way because it was burning, you know, and just kind of flying up with the other embers and all that. So I stopped using dryer lint. But you get an old can, like we used to have an old coffee can. We showed it in the old video, and you take a handful of dryer lint, roll it up in a dryer sheet, burn that, and that burns really good. So another cheap form of kindling that you can get. We also got some fire starters from my mom that we can use, but I had a lot of trouble starting fires in the beginning, like the first 4 or 5 times we went camping. Now I'm pretty good at it. I know the ins and outs. And if I am bad, that particular time that we go, got the camp stove, so doesn't matter. I can just use the propane and cook like that. Next thing that's good to have is some carabiners, which is this little hook thing here. Got these off of Amazon. It was like a 12-pack. And
55,000 pack.
they were less than $1 per hook per carabiner, and you can use it to hang all kind of stuff, you know, off your backpacks. It's very handy for, you know, saving space, for keeping stuff in reach without having it stuffed off in somewhere. This is the same brand, but we can use it on our water bottles, and we can hang it from the back of our backpacks when we're hiking, so we don't have to carry our water bottles. Sometimes I put it on my belt loop if I'm wearing, you know, shorts or pants or whatever with a loop, but most of the time it's on my backpack. I usually have at least 3 of them on my backpack at one time to carry whatever I need to carry. So carabiners
Come in clutch.
Come in clutch. You can hang lanterns and stuff from it if your lantern doesn't have a hook or the hook is broke, whatever the case may be. The last thing that we bring outside of our backpack, I don't really count that, but we bring a backpack to put our stuff in. But this is a sleeping bag, which I said I wasn't gonna get ever because I don't like being confined when I'm asleep. Turns out she's even worse about that than I am. But when we started camping in the cold, we weren't gonna get it done without a sleeping bag. So went to Walmart, got this Ozark Trail. This is a 10-degree sleeping bag, and that's misleading. So you got to do your research. Luckily, we did the research before we went and got these. Basically, whatever degree it says, this is a degree where you'll live.
Yeah, you can survive.
You can survive in 10 degrees. You're not going to be comfortable in 10 degrees. You're going to be cold, but you're not going to be cold enough that your body shuts down. So the rule of thumb is when you're reading this, add 10 to 15 degrees. Might as well just add 20 to be safe. But so this 10-degree bag, actually you'll be warm at 30 degrees. Again, comfortable at 30. 10 is just survivability. Like, this is the worst case scenario. You won't freeze to death, but you're definitely gonna be cold. You just won't die. You'll feel like dying, but you won't die. But this is obviously a big guy. You wouldn't use this, you know, hiking, you know, camping where you're doing a walk-in type of dispersed camping. But for our car camping, this is great because it weighs like 7 pounds. I want to say, sorry, 6 pounds, 5.7. So it weighs 6 pounds. It's very bulky. As you can see, it doesn't compress down because a good like hiking sleeping bag is a down sleeping bag, and it'll compress just like the Luxol blanket. You just stuff it off in the bag. But those are like $300 minimum type of deal. This was $45 or $40-ish. It wasn't. It was within the 40s. It was less than 50. And yeah, I've slept in the ice, as aforementioned earlier in the video, in the backyard to test it out, and I was fine. So get you a sleeping bag. I'll link that video so you can see more in-depth review of the sleeping bag. But yeah, if you're gonna be sleeping in the cold, get you a sleeping bag. Even if you're not, they're pretty comfortable because they're thick. You don't have to get a 10-degree one. You can get a warmer climate because they come in different climate ranges. But this doesn't zip all the way up the whole time. Like, you can unzip it all the way to the foot. So you can basically just use it as a cushion. You don't have to have it zipped up. And that's how she pretty much uses it. She gets inside of it, but it's open. Yeah, she'll have panic attacks. But yeah, sleeping bag is what we use now. Even if it's not cold, like I said, we'll just not zip it up all the way. But sleeping bag, Ozark trip for the win. Next thing that we bring is our camp shower, which is kind of a misleading title because we don't really use it for that. We have used it for that, but that's not its main reason. So I don't feel like bringing it out because it's deep off in the garage. But it's a makeshift shower that I made. Once again, I'll link the video so you can see that. But it's a pump, and we can take a little quick shower if we get like really grimy, which we haven't really, except for once. We got really covered in like dust and sand one time, and a little bit of mud, so we had to rinse off. But we use it to, rinse off the dishes and that kind of thing. Maybe rinse off our feet if we get, dusty or whatnot. But it's really cheap, really convenient, and it's a comfort. You don't really need it. So of the list of things that I just read off that I would absolutely recommend, number one, tent. In no particular order, but you're gonna need a tent. So have a tent. You're gonna need a tarp to put under the tent. This is just for, making your stay as comfortable as possible. A sleeping pad, not the sleeping bag, but definitely a sleeping pad. You want to elevate yourself once again for warmth and for comfortability.
If you want to be able to walk when you wake up the next morning.
Yeah, you want that barrier because the ground is unforgiving, especially the older you get. So if you're young, you probably won't notice anything, but once you get up in age, it starts to hurt. Headlamp, absolutely necessary. You want your hands free, but you want to be able to see. The battery pack, also super necessary because you don't want to run out of juice. Even if you don't have service where you're at, you on the off chance you do have service, you want to be able to call in case of emergency because you never know what could happen. The camp chairs, absolutely, so you can sit out and enjoy the sights, and just chill. The water, like I said, right up underneath the tent itself, have way more water than you need. And lastly, I would say is the bio soap for, hygiene and cleaning your food stuff off. Oh, one thing I did forget. Trash bag. Bring a trash bag. 2 trash bags, actually. One to put your trash in because you got to leave the way you came.
Leave it better than you found it.
Right. So you want to put your trash bag up on the little hook that they usually provide. If they don't have one, still, have your trash bag. Put all your trash in there, and then at night, put that bag into another trash bag, the second one that you brought, and you put that in your trunk. Because you don't want trash out at your campsite, because the critters that live out there will come out. They won't bother you during the day. They know that you usually have trash once you go to sleep, and they will come and visit and try to partake in your trash. And so they'll ransack. Our friends didn't listen the first time they came with us, and they left their stuff out, and they woke up and something, don't know what, probably a raccoon, went through all their stuff, and it was just trash everywhere. Ripped the bag to shreds, looking for food. So don't be them. Yeah, that's
also try not to leave food in your tent at night too, because depending on where you are, they will try to come in your tent, aka bears. will try to come in your tent to get that food when they smell it. And they have very good noses.
Now, we be eating in our tent at night, but the food that we bring in our tent are like movie snacks, and we're done with them by the time, the movie's over. And so there's nothing left, and I can, like, once again, like, go to the car and put it in the trunk.
Smelling
Right.
wrappers.
But yeah, we don't just have food chilling in the tent. All right, now we're gonna get into a few things that we no longer bring with us. Number one, a spade. We really thought we was gonna be taking dumps out in the wild.
Luckily,
we're not. If you're, out there, then yeah, bring a spade. But for us, we're camping in state parks. They have facilities.
yeah.
So, a common misconception, and we, fell for this ourselves, was that wasn't no bathrooms out there. But there's bathrooms. It's like going to a park. They might stink a little bit, but there's restrooms out there. So yeah, no need to be digging your own hole and going through that whole business. So we no longer bring that spade. We already talked about the lint. We don't bring lint anymore. Not because there's anything wrong with lint. It's just our particular lint. We
just didn't want to bring it
because of our dog and the dog hair. We don't bring our grill. So we bought this. It was only like $20, and it has the legs come down, and then you can grill on top of it. Because I didn't want to grill on the provided fire rings they have out there. State parks have their own grills in the fire ring.
It's like when you go to a regional park and they have the grill set up, but they're not actual grills at the state park campsite. So never mind. It's not like that at all.
In my brain, I was really going to be cooking directly on the grill, which I was in the beginning. Like, we were bringing steaks and burgers and stuff, and then I was just like, you know what, that's too much to bring camping. So we're going to bring stuff that's easy to cook. This, I don't have to bring a cooler to keep it cold and all that stuff. So we no longer bring the grill, and I'm cooking in a skillet or a pot. Like, I can put it on the provided grill on the fire ring. Like, I'm not putting food directly on the grill. So that was kind of a wasted purchase. You know what I'm saying? I regret that one, but it is what it is. You live and you learn.
You don't know until you know.
You don't know until you know. And that's pretty much it for what we don't bring anymore. We already talked about the jugs of water. We don't bring that because we consolidate it, and we have that big 6-gallon deal. But we mostly just been adding. Like, we got the essentials, the bare bones, the tent, the very first sleeping pad that we got, and we brought blankets and stuff from the house, and pillows from the house, and then we had the big Bertha lantern that was heavy, took the D batteries, and over the years we've just been kind of getting lighter stuff,
or replacing home stuff with actual camping stuff.
Right. So you can camp with stuff in your house.
The camping stuff was made for camping, so it usually works better than using your stuff from home. But the stuff from home still works, just not as well.
And it's more so for like convenience reasons, like it's bulky, and if it's at your house, you probably like it. And so if something happens to it when you're camping, you don't want it all messed up. So, but for your first time, sure, grab whatever you can from the house, save you some money. Find out if you like camping for real. If you do, then you go out and buy you 1 or 2 more items. And do like us, and just over the years, add to it, because we're, still kind of changing stuff out and finding what works and doesn't work. For the most part, we've been pretty good. Like, we haven't, like, that list was short of stuff we don't bring anymore. Lastly, we'll talk about clothes. In a nutshell, you want to bring multiple pairs of socks, because you got to have your hiking socks. Like, if you're going hiking, you want socks to hike in. They're going to get sweaty. You're going to be doing a lot of movement. You don't want to go to sleep in those because they're wet.
But also, if you wear the right kind of socks, they won't get sweaty or as sweaty. If you get non-cotton socks, and water wicking socks. It'll keep the water off of your feet so you won't die as much.
I mean, I wear regular cotton socks. I wear some not long sleeve, crew socks.
Long sleeve socks.
I'll wear some crew socks out on the hike, and then when we get back, I'll take them off, let my feet, dry out a little bit, and then I'll put on another pair of socks. And then when I get ready to go to sleep, I will take those socks off and put on my wool socks. So we just got some wool socks. Not just got some wool socks.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. We didn't have them at first. We had like crew socks and we had like some thick socks, but they were still cotton. But we got some wool socks, which are not thick, but they're very warm.
And they're great for hiking as well.
They're great for hiking. And I usually have my wool sock on, and then talking about the hot hands, I'll put the hot hand in the cotton sock and then put the cotton sock on top of the wool sock. So basically that's like 3 pairs of socks. So just to be safe, bring 4 pairs of socks and you should be good. Bring something that bring clothes to hike in and then bring clothes to sleep in. Because again, you're gonna get sweaty, you're gonna get a little funky, dirty, and you don't want that in your tent with you. Now, if you're backpacking, it kind of is what it is. You don't want to carry a bunch of stuff with you. So you would dress in layers, and you just take the top layer off and sleep in your underlayer. But for us, again, since we're not backpacking, we can just walk to the car if we need to. But we have daytime clothes for hiking, and then clothes to change into while we're just chilling around the camp, and then clothes that we sleep in. That's it. So 3 pairs of clothes, and it's not even really 3 pairs because the clothes that I'm chilling in are kind of what I'm sleeping in. Dress appropriately for the weather, check the weather, but also bring clothes just in case it changes. You know what I'm saying? And by changes, I mean gets cold. You can always just take stuff off. But
Not that one time.
oh yeah, that one time we was going through it. But the last thing you want to be is cold and you ain't got nothing else to put on. So bring something like some sweats or something. Bring some long johns, which are thermals for you non-southern folk who don't call it long johns. Bring a hat to protect yourself from the sun and give you a little bit of shade. We have specific camping hats that we bring. You don't need specific camping hats, but we just make sure they stay with the camping stuff, so we always
don't have to look for
have them right. Bandana to wipe sweat off your forehead, off your neck, and
don't
whatnot.
be like me. I'll tie my bandana around my head, which you should do because it catches the sweat before it gets onto your face. But I always tie mine too low, and I tan very easily. And so I always have a tan line across my forehead after we go hiking. I'm gonna learn one day. It hasn't happened yet, but one day.
In those clothes, one of those items should be moisture wicking, probably the thing that you go hiking in. So some polyester that'll wick that moisture away from you. We bring 2 pairs of shoes. So we bring our hiking shoes. She actually has hiking boots. I just got steel toe work boots, but they work just fine for me. They have ankle support. You want something with some ankle support because not all trails are even. So you might be stepping on rocks and ankle done.
That's how my baby ended up getting me my hiking boots because apparently I have weak ankles.
And then the other pair of shoes are open-toe shoes that we wear around camp, so sandals, basically. And so we let our, toes wiggle free from doing all that hiking and, can get in the dirt and the grass and whatnot, get in touch with our ancestors and whatnot. So 2 pairs of shoes. Or you can just go barefoot while you're at the campsite. It's up to you. Bring a light jacket and an actual coat. Again, if you're backpacking, you don't really have this luxury, but they make specific lightweight jackets that are down, that are, super lightweight, but they'll keep you warm. So if you're backpacking, get you a down jacket, but we're not backpacking yet. We're gonna do it eventually, but we'll bring a light jacket just in case it's a little chilly, and then we'll bring a coat again in case the temperature just drastically drops. Most of the time we don't have to wear the coat, but again, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
I have slept in my coat before too.
The last thing, clothes-wise, it's one of the newer purchases is a balaclava. Probably didn't say that right. I'll be butchering that, so I'm just call it a ski mask. But this was a 2-pack.
It's a shiesty. It's not really a shiesty though.
Got it on Amazon.
It actually is a shiesty.
And basically, it covers up your entire head except for your eyes. But you can wear it so that the head part is down and it's just your mouth and neck that are covered, or you can take where it's still your whole head is covered, but you can take the mouth part down and have it. So there's 3 different ways you can wear it.
Or you could wear it as a gaiter. Have it around your neck.
But that was really take the head part.
No, because the
gaiter.
mouth was still
But yeah. But for me, this particular kind has little glasses slits for the arms of your glasses to go in. So they're not compressed by the mask itself. They can sit outside of the mask, but then they go back in through the little slots there. We'll put it on.
So this is how it looks on. As you can see, glasses go within this little hole on the side to your ears. Spot open for your eyes to see. You can pull that top part back and just have your nose and your mouth covered. You can put the top part back on, just uncover your mouth, or just have it around your neck. The end.
But we have that to sleep in, keep our heads cold, and we also wear a beanie on top of it.
I suffocate in the balaclava as well.
Yeah.
I don't do well with restrictions. Restriction or restraints?
Restriction. But it's very warm, very comfortable. It's not like super thick, so it's you're not sweaty or anything in it, and it's lightweight and whatnot. Not that I've made a heavy ski mask, but
the knitted kind.
Yeah, the knitted kind. Yeah, I got these on Amazon. I forgot how much it was, but put it in the description. But it's a 2-pack, so she gets one, I get one. Upped our cold weather sleeping game. Not because our bodies would be warm, but then our heads would be, freezing. Some comforts. That you have anything else on clothes?
Oh well, actually I do. I like to wear leggings under my pants instead of the long johns. And then I sleep in the long johns though. But like during the daytime, I wear leggings, socks, pants, hiking boots, water wicking, shirt, other shirt, and then whatever else is needed due to temperature.
Some comforts. So what we like to do is download a couple of movies on Netflix before we go, and we'll decide which movie we're watching, during the night once we pack up the site and get inside the tent to go to sleep. Like I said, there's no internet reception or cell phone reception, rather, when we're out there. Usually, there's been a couple of parks where there's been cell phone reception. So as far as dinner, lunch, breakfast, that type of thing, just snacks. In our previous video, I said how I like to bring my Cheez-Its, but that's a big box and it was cumbersome. There was some other stuff, like we used to bring bags of chips or whatever, but we kind of toned down on that. Yeah, Girl Scout cookies.
Bring some Girl Scout cookies in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, we'll put a couple in a Ziploc bag. But we're trying to consolidate space, like not bring a whole bunch of stuff. Minimum trips from the car to the campsite, like trying to do it in like two trips. Especially when we had 2 people. But now we'll get these little bags of walnuts, little walnut pieces. They're great. We'll bring some raisins to snack on. I like these from HEB. They're trail mix bags. They're like 90 cents. There's different kinds like sweet and savory and just all savory.
Traditional trail.
Mix. But these are great. They're cheap. Like I said, like 90 cents. I usually buy like 4 of these, and we'll kind of just snack on them throughout the day, throughout the trail. So, but it's not necessary. We'll get a bobo each, and those are
thick.
Yeah, thick. Those are actually
Like
great for the hiking.
Almost.
Yeah, and in a cooler, you can bring a cooler if you're planning on bringing, drinks, things you're gonna need to cook that you can't just, have in a backpack. Like we're normally bringing like some type of canned soup or jambalaya, ravioli, something like that, chili. We bring non-perishable stuff to eat now, but every now and then we'll get a little bougie. We'll bring our cooler and we'll like cook up something like a full meal. But yeah, that's what we do now. I'm pretty sure we went through.
We also
everything.
like to bring pineapple.
Oh yeah,
sometimes, not all the time, to snack on. Especially like before we're about to hike, we'll eat
hydrate us.
A lot of pineapple before we go, which I heard we're supposed to eat watermelon instead and eat pineapple afterwards. But it works for us.
I mean, that makes more sense to do the watermelon and the pineapple. Because the watermelon has way more water in it. But yeah, you camp for you. Don't camp like people you see, even though we're telling you stuff to do. You know what your comfort level is. Start at that and then adjust it accordingly. Like we did. Like actually, we were very underprepared the first time that we went camping. That's part of the fun. Is like, okay, that didn't work out, but I know where I messed up. Let me correct. So you got to go camping twice. You got to camp the first time and see what went wrong. If something went wrong, take notes, adjust it, and go the second time. If you don't enjoy yourself the second time, then maybe it's not for you.
Try glamping, maybe.
Yeah, try glamping, but you should get out in nature and enjoy. Especially at the rate that they're just bulldozing stuff and paving over and putting concrete everywhere.
Pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
Yeah. As we mentioned before, we camp in state parks. So I have another video that I'm going to make about that, detailing what's that all about. Because most people, when they think camping, they think the middle of the woods, where Jason Voorhees lives. I mean, we're going to do that. But if you're skittish about it, like, you don't have to be. Like, it's very safe. Yeah. You're basically at an outside hotel is what you're at. So there's hotel where your door, opens to a hallway. There's a motel where your door opens to the parking lot. And then there's state park camping where you're just outside. There are no walls. But check the weather. Don't go when it's hot. If you don't have cold weather stuff, definitely don't go when it's cold. You'll be miserable in both cases. And yeah, just try it out. Especially if you're black. Need more of us out there. You got anything else?
No.
Alright, so hopefully this wasn't too long. I know we added stuff because we've gained more gear since the very first time that we did this video. But hopefully it was informative. If you got any tips or anything, drop them down below. If you got any questions, drop them down below. Subscribe, go watch some of our camping videos. And yeah, it's been another episode of Team Tatum. We out.